welcome to Railcraft with ElfCorp and Nos. What are we going to be doing today, Nos?
Okay, we're looking at some of the more obscure tracks, some of the things you won't use as often, but can come in handy.
So that would be suspended, which are pretty cool, make some cool adventure maps for that, elevator tracks, couplers, decoupling tracks for those sort of more advanced yards we might have a look at later on, some gated tracks for if you want to move your gear through, I don't know, some sort of cattle farm, and we'll do some junction tracks because we forgot to do them in the last ones. So we'll have a look at some suspended tracks first. Now, as I understand it, the whole deal with suspended tracks is you can run rails with no support underneath them for some distance.
Yeah, 4 tiles I believe it is.
Give us some project table love, no?
Okay, so we need some standard rail. We need some single ties by themselves, not set up into rail beds.
Okay, that's random. We've got some oil. Sweet. Look at that go. Alright, so we've got 3 ties down the middle.
So, yeah, just 6 down the sides. That makes us our suspended tracks. Okay, so it looks like it's kind of like your scaffolds, where you just need a support at each end.
Although it doesn't seem to be quite linking up properly. Maybe if I put one here. No. There we go. You just have to have a rail to push it in the right direction. Look at that. Is that as far as it'd go?
It stretches out 2 blocks from each side, so...
Okay, fair enough. So suspended tracks. I think there's a lot of potential there if you're a bit more creative than I am.
That's exactly it, if you want to clear some gaps across lava or something like that.
Let's have a look at some elevator tracks. This is something that's pretty close to your heart, and I'm pretty sure you're pretty good at these.
Elevator tracks are fun, they just require a bit of redstone to be done well. They are expensive from vanilla materials. They require 7 iron ingots and 2 redstone per 8 pieces of track.
Fair enough. Are they just iron and redstone up?
That's all that they use. They're all vanilla materials for some reason.
Yep. So we've got a big H pattern. Oh, okay, fair enough.
That makes us our elevator tracks. Now, the condition with them is they go straight up. They can be used as a ladder, which is good when you're building them.
Fair enough.
So, how they work is when they're powered, they will pull a minecart up. When they're not powered, they'll gently lower it back down again. Now, the trouble that you have is you either have to be creative with your redstone. We've used a toggle latch and timer system in one of our sections in the nether where we have dropped it down. And that allows you to fire yourself off along the train line. It will turn the elevator track off just long enough to get down it, but then it will leave it powered for the rest of the time. So if you're coming from the other direction, you can go straight up the elevator track.
Yes, I understand. Alright, you got a torch or something we can throw against this baby?
I'll grab a lever. Now, other interesting thing is how they actually transmit power. They will only transmit redstone power down, so you can put a lever or a redstone input at the top, and it will transmit redstone signal the whole way down. So as an example here, well, if we put the lever halfway down, it'll only power the bottom 4.
Okay.
So a bit of a weird quirk, but something you can work around.
Okay, Nos, jump in and I'll give you a push. Oopsie. That looks safe. I bet that was fun.
Whee!
Alright, here's something we've been playing around with a bit off camera, is the coupler tracks. Now I think if you get these things right, you could make an unbelievably complex yard. The whole basis behind coupler and decoupler tracks is that you've got a mixed consist train, so you could have chest carts, liquid carts, all that kind of thing, and when it comes into a train yard it splits them apart, it does their thing to individual carts, and then they get fired back and joins the train back together. So we won't go that hardcore today, but we'll just look at just the basic function of how they work, and we'll lay some out on the floor here.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so for a couple of crowbars, we'll make a few of them, because we need one per coupler and one per uncoupler track, is that right?
Per 8 units of each of those types of track, yeah.
Yeah, same deal. Faux stone. Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Coupler track.
So, crowbar at the bottom makes your coupler track. Crowbar at the top makes your decoupler track.
Works for me. Alright.
So the one that shows it together is your coupler track. Now, they will act as standard rail if they're not powered, so they won't slow anything down at least. But if they're powered, they'll couple or decouple.
Okay, so we'll push these carts along. Now this is the coupler track first. We'll show what happens when it's switched off. It should do nothing. There you go. You can see pretty clearly that they're both separate. So we'll just push these back along. Now as they go over that, they're now coupled. Look at that. Now if we push them over the decoupler track, well, it doesn't work because we've got the couplers. Do you want to turn the coupler off? Good stuff. Oh, yeah. Goes over there, look at that. And there's again, there's a lot of uses you could have for that, depending on how creative you are. Because we've got two standard mine carts, but you might have a chest mine cart and a liquid unloader, something like that. And you don't want them all to go through the same place. Or you might have a passenger in a freight train, you don't want the passenger getting off or getting, clobbered at the liquid loader. So, there's a few uses there. As a completist thing, let's have a look at some gated and junction tracks, because they're really the last two of our track types we haven't looked at. You're in creative, you cheating fuck.
Not bad.
Because I went to hack the shit out of you. There we go. This is why I took away your OP status, man.
I just flew back to try and make it quick. Fucking hell.
Okay. I'll let it slide for now.
Oh, thank you, your gracious one.
You should be thanking me. For those of you who can't remember how to make a gate, there it is. Bam. Gate, gate. Some rails down the side, standard rail, and some rail bed. Some wooden rail bed. Gated track. Sweet as. I'll chuck it here, why not? Look at that! Now this on its own won't open the gate. What you need underneath it is some sort of detector block or a redstone signal to actually open the gate as you're going through. Insert thing here. Cart detector, some sort of timer circuit, who knows. Alright, last but not least, junction tracks. Now these are just a crossover or whatever you call it. So you get two tracks to pass each other at 90 degrees. It's a heap of standard rail and a rail bed from memory. Nope.
Yes, it is.
What am I doing wrong? That's high speed rail.
Got to use standard rail and a wood rail bed. And it's got to be on the crafting table.
Yeah. This thing's pretty handy again if you're making tight neckworks or if you don't want any of the weird rules to come into play. Well, it's not really joining up. There we go. The next episode we'll look at item loaders and unloaders, and really making better use of these tools we've shown you today. So until next time, see ya.
See ya.